Never give up. Make your story the greatest story ever told. Let's learn today and let's get inspired and let's remember that we have this one life and we can make it great no matter what. Impossible is nothing. Absolutely nothing. Life is a gift. In my life, I have struggled through my own handicaps for many, many years. But when I look back now, I realize that I am who I am right now, not in spite of my handicaps, but because of them. When I connect the dots, it all makes sense. If you just hang in there, if you just consistently keep moving forward with a positive attitude, magic happens. Miracles do happen. But the one thing that will make you great in your life, beyond money, beyond strength, beyond anything else, is your character. Know who you are. Walk your path. Know your truths. Character. That is what will make you great in whatever you do in your life. And remember that status in the world is not defined by what work you do, but by how well you do it. It doesn't matter what you do. Whatever you do it great. And that will show your character to the people around you. Be givers in life. Don't wait for people to show you love. Give love first. Trust me on this. Be contributors, and whatever you want in your life will come to you automatically. Give first.
Make a million mistakes! Just quit wasting your energy making the same mistakes. You have to make a decision that I will learn from this thing. See, there's some people in this room right now that you need to hear this loud and clear. You need to get this in your spirit, because I don't know what you're walking through, but some of you right now, you are in a tough season. An event has happened, and something's happened, and maybe you have failed. But I want to remind you that failure is not final, it's formative. It is not final, it is formative. It is part of the process. It's part of the journey. Your failure matters as much as your success. How do you think you're going to grow if you don't ever fail? Yet some of you have failed and you have decided, well, guess what? I'm a failure. No, failure is an event. It is never a person. Just because you failed doesn't mean that you're a failure. In fact, failure is actually fuel for your future. The way that you grow, the way that you advance. You have to fail in order to succeed. I wish I could get a witness at 12:15 who knew that they'd gone through some failures, and just because you failed doesn't mean it's final. It's formative.
Life is short. It's too short to live depressed. It's too short to live anxious. And it's too short to struggle every day with thinking about taking your life. I want to challenge you tonight to get up. That you're not quitting tonight. That one day it is appointed unto all men to die. But that is God's responsibility, not mine. And so I don't know who I'm preaching to tonight, but I want to say to you, get up. Your future is brighter than your past. I want to say to you in the balcony, get up. Your ladder is greater than your former. I want to say to every person in this room, get up, because the best is still yet to come. I got a God who works miracles. Come on and worship him in this house.
1937, I was 7 years old, and no air conditioning, so the summers were hot and humid. People went out on their lawns at night just to try and cool off, and I got the idea that maybe I could sell them what you would call soft drinks and we called pop. So I went around to a bunch of gas stations, and in those days every gas station had a cooler with varied soft drinks in it, and it had a little opener on the side and something to catch all the bottle caps. So I went around and collected all the bottle caps for weeks at these various gas stations. I collected 8,000 of them, and then I sorted them all out, and I saw that they were Coca-Cola overwhelmed everybody else. So I decided to hook myself up to them. And they were these little silver-like ones in those days. And my grandfather had a grocery store, so I went to my grandfather and I said, how about giving me a deal on Coke so I can sell it around the neighborhood? And he sold me at the rate of 6 bottles for a quarter, and I went around and sold them for a nickel each. And I sold out every time. And I had no inventory, I had no receivables, I had the best business I ever had. We'll always have problems. I mean, you know, ever since I got out of school, somebody's I used to sell stocks that always give me 10 reasons why you shouldn't buy them, and you've heard them all throughout your life. But the world does not belong to the pessimists, believe me. You're selling happiness, and it's, you know, and having it at arm's length away is a big part of it. And you know, the distribution system's been developed. It's the right formula, Muhtar, and it just has to be carried out with, you know, with extreme diligence, enthusiasm, in every minute of the day.
You're going to make mistakes in life. I mean, there's no question about it. You don't want to make them on the big decisions, you know, who you marry and some things like that. So there's no way I'm going to make a lot of business and investment decisions without making some mistakes. I may try to minimize them. I don't dwell on them at all. I don't look back. The biggest mistakes are the ones that actually don't show up. They're the mistakes of omission rather than commission. We've never lost that much money on any one investment. But it's the things that I knew enough to do that I didn't do. You know, those don't show up. You know, there's no place where it shows missed opportunities, but I've missed some big ones. The triumphs in life are partly triumphs because you know that everything isn't going to be a triumph. And I would never get too hung up on mistakes. I know a lot of people that really agonize over them, and it just isn't worth it. I mean, tomorrow's another day, and you live it forward and just go on to the next thing.
Well, I would like to keep it very simple. I play cricket, and all my devotion is towards cricket. And you know, I know one thing: whatever is around me is because of cricket and not because of anything else.
Process is more important than the result. The result is a byproduct of the process. But in today's world, we are so much focused about the result that we get away from the process. So take care of the process. You know, take care of all the small things, and eventually you'll get the desired result.
The kind of person I am, you know, throughout my life, I've never tried to change myself. I've always kept it simple, be honest, you know, devote yourself to something and then, you know, be focused on that. So I think it's the ethics and the principles that really matter in life, and I've kept it really simple, so that has really helped me.
Being honest is one of the most important things. To start off being honest to yourself. Unless you are honest to yourself, you can't be honest to others. And what it also does is, it helps you in accepting what the shortcomings are. You may not be a great player, you know, may not be a great human being, but if you're willing to accept the shortcomings, you can always look to improve it.
You know, you have to be honest in life, you have to be honest to yourself, you have to be practical, you have to take risk in life, but at the same time, you know, you have to be calculated. You can't just say, okay, I took a risky option at some point of time. You have to be ready for the kind of talent that's really needed to achieve what you want to achieve. But life is all about go through the difficult periods, fight it out, but if you can do it with a smile, you know, that you'll become part of maybe the 5% persons, you know, who can actually do it. Because at times we crib about life, about the tough period, but it's a tough period that actually make you a better human.
I'm here to tell you that finding your purpose isn't enough. Purpose is that feeling that you are a part of something bigger than yourself, that you are needed, and that you have something better ahead to work for. Purpose is what creates true happiness. Let me tell you a secret. Ideas don't come out fully formed. They only become clear as you work on them. You just have to get started. Facebook wasn't the first thing I built. I also built chat systems and games, study tools and music players, and I'm not alone. My hope was never to build a company. I wanted to have an impact. I remember that night I launched Facebook from that little dorm in Kirkland House. I went to Noakes with my friend KX, and I remember telling him clearly that I was excited to help connect the Harvard community, but one day someone would connect the whole world. The thing is, it never even occurred to me that that someone might be us. We were just college kids. We didn't know anything about that. There were all these great big technology companies with all these resources, and I just assumed one of them would do it. But this idea was so clear to us that all people want to connect. So we just kept working on it, day after day after day. And I know that a lot of you are going to have your own stories just like this. A change in the world that seems so clear that you are sure someone else is going to do it. But they're not. You will. But it's not enough to have that purpose yourself. you also have to create a sense of purpose for others. One of my favorite stories is when JFK went to go visit the NASA Space Center, and he saw a janitor holding a broom, and he asked him what he was doing, and the janitor replied, "Mr. President, I'm helping put a man on the moon." J.K. Rowling got rejected 12 times before she finally wrote and published Harry Potter. Even Beyonce had to make hundreds of songs to get Halo. The greatest successes come from having the freedom to fail.
It's hard for me to believe sometimes as well that, you know, I've got these many centuries in international cricket or one-day cricket separately, and I just try to forget that moment quickly, because I don't want to you know, think about it too much and then start doubting myself, thinking that it's come too early for me, because I want to achieve something really big, and I want to be, you know, known as a player who won a lot of games for India and who scored a lot of runs for the country. So I get that thought and I let go of it, because then I sit down and think all the greats of the game, they start doing that at a very early age. So it's not such a bad thing to start doing that when you're young, and you know, along the lines you keep learning, and you'll have phases, but as long as you can stay consistent, I think that's a very good thing. If someone criticizes you, it's better to actually, you know, take the criticism and look into it. If something's wrong, you try to correct it, rather than just being blunt and just ignoring the word. And yeah, I looked upon it, because I was out of the team after that for a while, and I sat and I analyzed what I did wrong, and improved on a lot of things, and it was good that I decided to take that criticism and actually change the stuff I needed. Success and failure is a part of everything that we do in life, whether it's sport, whether it's, you know, in daily life, whether you lose someone close to you, whether, you know, it's a problem in your job, anything. It is the truth of life, and you need to be able to accept both with grace. That's the thing that I've learned. You can't go gung-ho when you succeed. You can't say, oh, I'm the king of the world, or, you know, we are invincible now, and when you fail, you can't beat yourself down so much that you can't get up again. So I think you need to feel the hurt. You need to feel, where could I have done things differently? I think failure is a great way or a great opportunity to analyze what went wrong and to improve on those mistakes. And I think life is all about that. It's about making mistakes on a regular basis, but having the courage and the acceptance and the clarity to say, okay, I have made a mistake. I'm not going to be egoistic about it. I'm going to lay it down, understand what happened, improve on it, and walk forward. So I think somewhere or the other we need to understand that all we can do is work hard and put in our best effort. As long as your intent is right, your heart is in the right place, and you're going along the right path, and you're doing things with the right intent, that's all you can do.
Since 1999, he passed away, my father. Without his guidance, I don't think I would have been standing here in front of you. He gave me freedom at the age of 11 and told me that chase your dreams, but make sure you don't find shortcuts. Path might be difficult, but don't give up. You all have dreams. You all have vision in life of what you want to be, to become a priceless, precious diamond. You all are talented. You all are sent down by God with some or the other talent. We just need to identify that, and then from an uncut, unpolished diamond to become a polished, priceless diamond. It is a process, it's a journey where the path won't be easy. Sometimes when you're trying to do certain things, there might be obstacles. Don't give up, don't find shortcuts. Everything is going to be temporary in your life. The only thing which will stay permanently with you till your last breath is the person that you are. A lot of things will happen. If you follow the right things in life, you would be able to achieve your dreams. You have to chase your dreams. Dreams do come true. I've chased one for the last 21 years. One World Cup for India after 21 years. So dreams do come true. It may take a bit longer than some, but they do come true. Sometimes what happens that we push ourselves, but not enough, because we try and then we find excuses. We say that, oh, enough, I've tried, it's not happening, and you give up. And one extra step success is waiting for you, which you sometimes don't end up taking. So always be prepared to push yourself.
I believe that self-discipline is the definition of self-love. That when you say that you love yourself, that means that you have behavior towards yourself that is loving. The road to sustained happiness is through disciplining your behavior. 99% of people that say stuff like that are not willing to do what it takes to make their dreams come true. The Marines have a saying, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. And that's just real. At the center of bringing any dream into fruition is self-discipline. You know, something as simple as food and eating, it's not about your body as much as it is about your mind. It's getting command of your mind to be able to choose actions that are in your own best interest. Every day, we are choosing shit that's not in our own best interest. Right? So if the world is attacking you and the world wants to fight you and the world's trying to hold you down, so you're going to kick yourself in the balls? So you're going to stop yourself from getting what you dream. And I think the word discipline has kind of gotten a bad name. We think about it in terms of punishment. I'm not talking about discipline in that way. I'm talking about discipline in the sense that you forego immediate pleasure for the exchange of long-term self-respect. Self-discipline is the center of all material success. You cannot win the war against the world if you can't win the war against your own mind.
Fail big. Today's the beginning of the rest of your life, and it can be very frightening. It's a new world out there. It's a mean world out there, and you only live once, so do what you feel passionate about. Take chances professionally. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. So don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals, and understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline, which you have already done, and consistency every day, not just on Tuesday and miss a few days. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. You've heard the saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. So continue to strive, continue to have goals, continue to progress.
Things will always not go your way. There will be times where things will be difficult. There'll be times when you wanted things to be a certain way and they don't go that way. The faith, I'd never give up. The minute you tell me that I can't do something, I work that much harder to prove, not to people, but to myself, that I can do it. It can be anything, even yourself. And I think through the years, I think the one thing that I've learned is to be patient and to really believe in yourself. I mean, you can have, amazing people around you telling you different things. Some people really believe in your vision and some people won't. Some people will also discourage you and say, you know what, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to wait? Are you, why don't you try something else or do something else? I think it's important to be, I mean, at least I fortunately had a lot of clarity about what I want to achieve for myself, the kind of films I want to do, the kind of people that I want to work with. And that will always be an ongoing process. Since childhood, I've always known what I wanted to do. Today, I'm living that dream. But I always say I'm not satisfied. I'm not fully satisfied, and I don't ever want to be. I want that hunger. I want that motivation to keep me going. I do what I do. I do what I love. The money happens to come. It means nothing. You can have everything in the world, but if you're not happy, you can do nothing with it, and it really means nothing.